Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today I'm doing something absolutely incredible. I'm flying on the inaugural 787 Dreamliner of WESTJET with a few friends and we're off to Calgary. Enjoy the video. The arrival of WESTJET's new 787 Dreamliner marks a turning point in the airline's fortunes. WESTJET have historically operated old Boeing 767 aircraft and have been a strong low-cost option between London and Canada for some years now. However, on those aircraft the best class of travel was premium economy, but with new lie-flat seats, WESTJET is transforming into a premium airline and I'm really excited to check it out. WESTJET's check-in area is in the north terminal of Gatwick Airport on the ground floor. Check-in is pretty easy and straightforward. There are no manned desks per se, you have to do it yourself through these kiosks, but it's pretty easy to do and self-explanatory, even if you've not done it before. The North Terminal is fortunate to have a plethora of good lounges to choose from. WESTJET business class passengers can access the club rooms which are on the bottom floor. It's a small and exclusive feeling lounge that features a brief a la carte menu. This is one of the more upmarket feeling lounges in Gatwick North Terminal, so it's good that WESTJET have partnered with them. Our stay was brief because we wanted to head to the gate early. Off to the gate now. I've heard some rumours that there's going to be something special at the gate for us for this inaugural 787 flight. Let's go and check it out, see what there is for us. There was a welcoming committee of interested staff on hand to see this brand new aircraft land into Gatwick for the very first time. Our aircraft today is named for Clive Beddoe. He's actually an Englishman and one of the founding shareholders of WESTJET. The airline had also laid out a few special things to welcome passengers on this inaugural flight. The real centrepiece was this WESTJET 787 cake, which looked absolutely fantastic, and the attention to detail was quite something. This is the first time I've actually done a long-haul inaugural flight, and I'll definitely do more of them if there's cake and champagne at every single one. Shortly before boarding, there were a couple of speeches from two people closely involved with the project.
We've thrived, we've really worked strongly together. I love working with the WESTJET team. You'll thoroughly enjoy this aircraft. I just went on board for a sneak peek. It's absolutely terrific, fantastically comfortable, great in-flight entertainment, and it'll really transform, I think, the service proposition of WESTJET to Canada, which is good already, and it'll be absolutely fantastic from this point on. So that's all I really wanted to say. It's a really great day for us all here at Gatwick. It's a full plane, just demonstrates the demand from customers flying UK to Gatwick, UK to Canada, and in these funny old Brexit days we have, the more interconnectivity we can have globally, the better. So thank you for your involvement in that. Now, that's enough for me. I want to hand over to Craig McCubbin, who's the Chief Information Officer for WESTJET, who's going to introduce himself, the team here, and the flight. So thank you very much indeed. Craig.
Good morning. Welcome to what's going to be the very first flight from London to Calgary aboard one of our brand new 787 Dreamliners. I'd like to begin by acknowledging Guy and Stephen and the partnership that we've had at Gatwick Airport between WESTJET and Gatwick. It's been 3 years in the making, and we're very happy at the point we've reached now with our 787s. How many have flown a Dreamliner before? Fantastic, show of applause. Dreamliner, there we go. I can tell you that you're in for a real treat if you've never flown a 787 before. It's a beautiful aircraft, but more than that, it's one of the most technologically advanced aircraft ever made, and you're going to absolutely love it. It also represents the ongoing transformation of WESTJET from a low-cost carrier into a world-class, global, full-service network carrier. We'll be able to connect people and businesses, improve transportation networks, and drive economic growth everywhere we fly. And with this aircraft, we're also bringing the world to Canada. In fact, the UK is Canada's second largest source of visitors, and while we're still adding up the numbers, it's expected that some 825,000 people from the UK traveled to Canada in 2018. Now, my name is Craig McCubbin. My heritage is Scottish. When I come to the UK, I feel very much at home here. The people are warm, the landscape is absolutely beautiful, the cities are thriving, and I love coming to the UK. Another place that you will love coming to is Canada. I think you'll find some of the same dynamics with the warm people, absolutely fantastic scenery, landscape, and nature. And you're going to love that for those of you who are headed out there.
It's just about time to board. Cheers, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy making it. On our way down the jetway, WestJet staff were on hand to dispense some goodie bags. These were pretty cool. I definitely think the highlight of the haul here is these rather fetching WestJet socks. Cheers, man. See you later. Hello. I think we know where we're going. Yes. Thank you. All of the cabin to the right of the main boarding door is economy class in a 333 configuration. Just forward of there is premium economy in a 232 configuration, which looks very smart indeed. At the very front of the aircraft is business class. This is arranged in a 1-2-1 configuration with reverse herringbone seats. That means everybody, including people with window seats, get direct aisle access and no stepping over your neighbour to access the aisle. Having only seen promotional pictures of this cabin, my first impressions were extremely positive when I boarded. Everything was done in a classy and understated way, and I really love the colour palette that WestJet used on this aircraft. Waiting at my seat when I boarded was a pillow and blanket. I test drove these later on in the flight and found both of them to be very good. WestJet calls these seats a business class pod, and I have to say they're very cosy, although the design is not too dissimilar to the competition on Air Canada. After a brisk takeoff, we're soon heading out towards Canada, and now's a good time to take a look at today's route. London Gatwick to Calgary is 4,394 miles, and we do this distance in just 8 hours and 20 minutes. That's thanks to some favourably light headwinds. After takeoff, our drinks orders were taken, and I went for the signature cocktail, which is green tea, vodka and cranberry juice. It was served with some truffle oil popcorn. It was absolutely delicious, and definitely not something I've had on any other carrier. It was quite unique. Onboard Wi-Fi was free for business class passengers and was reasonably good too. So good that I could use Flight Radar 24 here on my phone to identify this Milan to Los Angeles flight being operated by Air Italy. An increasing trend with in-flight entertainment is the ability to have a look at the drinks and food menu. Now, this seems to pertain mostly to economy class. The in-flight entertainment also has a number of other functions. You can call a crew member directly from the in-flight entertainment or check the weather at your destination. Another thing which I found really useful was the ability to control the electronic window shades on this Dreamliner directly from the seat. There are 5 settings and will dim or brighten automatically depending on the setting you choose. Any changes you request will happen slowly. The windows dim or brighten very slowly so that you can get adjusted to the glare or the darkness. This panel on the right hand side of the seat is a touch screen that controls the recline of the seat and some lighting functions. There's also a small storage pouch just close to foot level. There's a nice bright reading light just over your shoulder in these seats, and down on the left hand side is a pop-up armrest which also contains a substantial storage pouch. Aside from the colour scheme, my favourite thing about this seat is the enormous amount of storage that it gives you. There's yet another panel in the sill here where you can keep a couple of small items, and yes, it even includes a small vanity mirror, and just in front of that is another pop-up pouch that contains the USB and charge points, and also the remote control to control the in-flight entertainment. Beside the window is a literature pocket which comes with an attractive light, and there's also a coat hook on the back of the seat in front. The table is slid out from underneath the fixed entertainment screen and is attractively finished in a grey false wood. Even while folded out, it will still securely push back so that you can exit the seat even while your table is down. WestJet also provide a rather basic amenity kit, which is by Matt & Nat, not a brand I've heard of before. Now, I personally don't use amenity kits too much on long-haul flights, so I wasn't too disappointed that the amenity kit was a little sparsely packed. As we approach Iceland, it's time to think about getting something for lunch. Like everything else on the flight, the menu and wine list are beautifully presented. Canada is a bilingual country, and therefore there's a French menu if you turn it over. As is common on most long-haul carriers, a hot towel service precedes the business class dining service. There are 2 meals on this flight, one served shortly before landing. The light fare in the right-hand column is the second meal service. I thought the choice of food by WestJet was pretty good, and there's something to suit most tastes in the menu. I'm not a huge alcohol drinker and I don't really know my stuff about it, so let me know what you think of the wine and beer list in the comments below. The food service starts with warmed bread and butter, and shortly after I'm served the curried chicken terrine. This was really nicely presented and it was absolutely delicious, a perfect starter. The service on board was quintessentially Canadian. It was friendly, warm and sincere. However, WestJet were operating this as an inaugural flight. This is the first long-haul lie-flat business class service the airlines ever operated. This led to some teething problems with the service, which was very slow. Some catering options hadn't been loaded at all, some were under-catered, and staff seemed to be struggling with a new way of delivering the service in business class. As a result, we were well over Greenland and even into Canada, here's Baffin Island, before my beautiful dessert of bread and butter pudding was delivered. The service took nearly 5 hours from takeoff to complete, which is far, far too long on any transatlantic flight. However, I'm happy to excuse these as simple teething problems. I'm confident that WestJet know about these issues and will transform the service and improve the speed and delivery of it in the weeks ahead. The screen in business class is pretty substantial, and there's a good selection of movies, games and TV shows for you to choose from. You certainly won't get bored on any of WestJet's flights. There are noise-cancelling headphones also provided with the entertainment. I visited the toilets a few times during the flight, and each time they were very well kept and spotlessly clean, which is always good. Business and premium economy passengers can visit the social area, which is between premium economy and economy on the WestJet Dreamliner. However, this is a really small space, and I'm not quite sure why WestJet call it a social area. The snacks were good, but I'm not sure I want to hang around here for too long. Something which WestJet continues to improve on is its route network. When I landed in Calgary, they were actually operating an inaugural flight to Portland in Oregon. WestJet now serve over 100 destinations in 24 countries. Paris and Dublin get Dreamliner service later this year. As you'd expect, the seat converts into a fully lie-flat bed. The blanket and pillow were very comfortable, and I think you'll have absolutely no problems in this bed unless you're over around 6'2". There were at least 6 inches at the end of my feet when I was wiggling them here, and I'm 5 feet 8 inches. When I woke, the second meal service was being served, and I opted for the afternoon tea. It was interesting to see that WestJet had partnered with McDonald's for their hot drinks on this flight. I thought the tea and coffee on board were both pretty good, and I was pretty impressed as well with the nice selection of cakes and sandwiches supplied for afternoon tea. During our descent, which started near Edmonton, Alberta, maple syrup flavoured sweets were handed out. I've never had one of these before, and I thought they were pretty interesting, although I don't think I'll be buying a pack of them when I land. So, my final thoughts on WestJet's new Dreamliner. Inaugural flights are rarely smooth affairs. something is bound to go wrong. There were two things that went wrong on my flight. Firstly, when I got into my seat, it was slightly broken and one of the ground crew mechanics had to come on and fix it. That was dealt with utmost urgency by WestJet, so well done for them for turning that situation around in 10 minutes. The second thing that went wrong was the service, which was the same for everyone. This was unfortunate, and it was mainly due to the crew being less familiar with the aircraft than they probably should have been. This will inevitably improve with time, so I've no hesitation in recommending WestJet as a compelling option to cross the Atlantic to Canada. It's a wonderful country, and I'm glad WestJet are offering some much needed competition on routes between the UK and Canada. I paid £882 one way for my ticket between London Gatwick and Medicine Hat via Calgary. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll sign off here, but until next time, I'll see you around.